And I've got everybody on. Welcome. Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. If your feet are flat on the floor, have them in a parallel position. And knees hips width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And you can just place your hands either just on top of your thighs or in the regular meditation mudra. And try and have your shoulders aligned with the hips and the ears aligned with the shoulders, and very gently just tip the head forward from the top of the spine. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose and the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and just relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw. Release any tension in the back of the head. It's the neck. And the throat and the shoulders. Allow the shoulders and the shoulder blades to drop down. And relax the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just bring the mind to the breath. Just noticing the very subtle sensations of the air as you're breathing in and breathing out. And then be aware if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow them around with the mind or be distracted by them. And then bring the mind back to the breath. And just notice the thoughts as they are arising. Maybe try and put some space in between the thoughts. Try not to judge or criticize or have any opinions. So, ideally we take a step back and just be objective about what's in the mind and be just really happy that you can see it. So you might be finding, as you start to maybe practice your meditation more or go more into this particular practice of Vajrasattva practice, is that the mind might start to get, or might appear to be getting, a little bit noisier than it was before. It's not necessarily that is what's happening. What might be happening is that you're just becoming a little bit more aware of what's actually in the mind. So somebody became very aware of that on Friday when we were doing a mindfulness meditation. And they said that it was just once one thought arose and they sort of let it float away on a little cloud, then many, many more started coming. And that's just the nature of the mind. It's a river of mental moments. So let's just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just watch it flow on by, and just realize that while you're sitting on the bank, you're free from the river. And bring to mind all the people of your life, the ones you love, very precious to you. You care about them. You worry about them. Your mind they're in your heart. And then there's those folk who we wish weren't in our heart. Perhaps we wish they weren't in our lives. And then we have those people in our life who are complete strangers. And remembering they can all change place at any time. And you'll even notice that in your friendships. Sometimes you have this very dear friend, then you go through a phase where you're not really in touch with them much. Or you might go through a phase where they kind of annoy you. And then you might you come back to realizing that actually that's your delusion, maybe. And then you love them all over again. So even within our own sort of in the bubble of a relationship, we can go through all these different phases of seeing a person in a different way. But really, these people are just all equal. They're the same as us in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people in your life and by extension, all sentient beings. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally create positivity with our mind. We can change it. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And so we don't really want any more suffering than we already have. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. So what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon Vajrasattva's methods, his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. It's a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So with developing compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of somebody who has harmed you. So bring them to your mind. And then also think maybe of someone you've harmed. And particularly the one who's harmed you, have extra compassion for these people, because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest and ripen for them as suffering in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. So we start with the purification of the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose or a waterfall, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And imagine it's pouring into you until it forces out of all of the lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body in the form of inky black liquid. And it just disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with the body. So next is the purification of speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs and all the inappropriate speech and not knowing what to say. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi me piyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Karuhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi me piyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi me piyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva, hum, pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with this speech. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around into your crown and fills your entire being. So as when we walk into a pitch black room and we flick on the switch, the light instantly dispels the darkness. It's the same as here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and just instantly all the darkness of the negativity of your mind and any depression, anxiety, and jealousy and bitterness and grudges and all the weird stuff instantly dispelled. All the stories, all the delusions dispelled as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Let's recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawakama Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve and the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's a really crucial one to make this determination, this decision that we don't want to harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So that becomes your becomes something that's in the back of your mind all the time. You make this vow to yourself, but we want to get a little bit of detail going on. So think of that can be your general vow, and then think of something that is harmful that you do, that you have a habit to do. Maybe it's negative self-talk. Maybe we can start to think about not doing that one. Or when you become aware of it, to maybe put a stop to it. So just think of something that you want to work on. And this determination to not do again is what gives us the courage, the strength to change. So to conclude, Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light, just kind of dissolves into you through the crown, and think my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And this is His Holiness's swift return prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratikya Buddhas, victorious Lozang, father and sons, together with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please now bestow the virtue and goodness to accomplish this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's Tub, precious and complete teachings 10 through explanation and practice. You wore the armor of patience, Zopa, that is never discouraged. Next page. Incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make request, while striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed for peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for the fortunate disciples. And for Lama Zopa, Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. So there was 12 at one point, and I'm wondering if anyone saw at what point. Oh, that was Shayla. She's gone. Okay, so she probably would have done the mantras. All right. I'm counting them, everyone. Lots of love.
She did them.
She did them? Okay. Thanks, Michael. All right, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Some of you. Thank you so very much. Lots of love and sleep well.